What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a 2012 Honda Odyssey EXL. You can see it is the van. 3.5, pretty standard on all of these. But what we're going to do is a power steering pump on this. And you can see no fluid in there at all, and they drove it over here. Power steering pump's right here on the top. It's not going to be too bad of a job. It does call for like a little over 1.5 hours. But the issue is we do have to take this pump off, and I'm going to show you a few little things to do before you go take the pump off and make it a little easier if you don't have any impacts or anything like that. One thing I will say, leave the belt on. This does have a new belt, but leave the belt on, and we're going to take this nut off with the belt on and give you a lot more tension. And you can even put a screwdriver or something down in here to prop against the old pump, because you ain't really worried about messing up that pump. I'm more worried about the pulley. Even though it is a metal pulley, you can still bend it, crack it, something like that. You know, just be careful if you're doing it that way. But the way we're going to do this, we're going to take the belt off, but I'm going to zip tie the belt kind of around, make sure I'm showing you all right, around this area to keep it from falling, or zip tie it up around like one of the lines or something, just to keep it around everything, because these belts can be a little bit of a nightmare to put on sometimes, just because of the close quarters. I know you can go in through the wheel well and all that good stuff, but still lining it up on the pulley sometimes can be a nightmare. And you can kind of keep it on the pulleys where it needs to go if you do it this way also. But first thing we'll do, we'll take off this cover. Should have these little like flathead looking clips. Missing one on this side. To be honest, I bet I could probably get it with my finger. Oh yeah, I got it with my finger now. But it just pulls off. And this van, I think, has over 200,000 miles. But getting it turned around was interesting, to say the least, because the power steering pump was horrible. As far as lines go, you're going to have to take this little plastic piece right here off after you get the pump out, just because you got to transfer it over to a new one. I got a reman. Let me go ahead and show it to you. There's a Master Pro. That's pretty much all they had. Reman power steering pump 990-1209. We do have a brand new one, but I couldn't get it for a few days. They had to come from like 2 or 3 states away, so it's going to take like 2 days to get it. Most of the time you have to switch over that little plastic piece. Yeah, it should go on this end right there, or right there. Should come with O-rings. Yeah, they're right there. And make sure you use Honda approved power steering fluid. I always do that. A bunch of companies make it. This is about all they had in stock in mine right now was this. Normally I'll get like the Fram. I think the customer actually has some in the car, but normally I'd like to get the Fram stuff, and I just like to get a few bottles of it, because you never know how long it's going to take to bleed out and how much it takes total. But there's the pump. I just, like I said, it's reman. There's 2 bolts. I can show you a little bit easier right here before we start on it. Here and there, and then you have, like I said, you got to take the pulley off and transfer it over to your new one. It's got that big nut on the front, but we'll loosen it up on the car before we even take the belt off. It sits in there like this. You got a line on top, a line come off the side, and you got your pulley. Pretty straightforward. You can vacuum bleed it, do it however you want to whenever you get a bleed system. Found the method I use works for me. It may not work for you, but I just fill it up, turn it lock, let it bleed it out, and then I just do that a few times. And then I'll take it on a test drive, and as I'm turning and stuff on test drive, it kind of bleeds it out too. Then I'll come back, check, make sure there's no leaks, no air bubbles, any of that good stuff, and then we'll top it off. But let me grab some tools real quick. Alright, so this nut right here on the front of the pulley is a 19, and this line right here, I wasn't even all the way in there, but I like to pull it up and move it out of the way just a hair, and we can And see how it's moving the pulley right there? I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's moving that. If you just grab it and yank it up like that, it will loosen up that nut. And that actually popped off pretty easy. A lot of times they're a little bit tighter than that, but it come off fairly easy compared to what I normally see. And that is your nut. Now, the belt tensioner, I probably hear sirens going off too. The belt tensioner is, I think it's right down here. So I'm going to take that off. I don't remember what size. It sounds like they're coming in my neighborhood. I think it's a 14, not a 15. I always forget on these Hondas. Just because I don't work on a bunch of them. Yeah, it's a 14, alright? But it's right there. You want to pull it up towards the back of the car. You can see the belt go slack. And then you can take the belt off. Let me take this off. It's just hard to show y'all with one hand too, just because this tensioner is super tight, because it's got a brand new tensioner on it too. I put that on a few months ago. So let me get this off. I'm gonna zip tie it up and show you about how I do it, and let y'all see where I do it, and that way it keeps everything kind of lined up. So as you can see, I got it zip tied right here up on this front wiring harness, and it's not super tight, just enough to hold it, and just kind of keeps it out of my way, but keeps it wrapped around everything good enough to where it's not falling down. Just save me a little bit of time. But now I'm going to start taking these lines off. You just got a squeeze clamp right here, and then there's 2 10s right there. Now be mindful, some fluid may run out depending on how bad yours is leaking, but this one right here probably won't have a whole lot. So try to set y'all up where y'all kind of watch most of this. And then the 2 bolts are actually, one is right there. I don't know, you can see my finger moving. I know it's kind of hard to see. You can see it right there. And then the other one is, get y'all kind of upside down. I don't know if y'all can kind of see that one down in there. There's one right there. I think you can see it. Yep. It wasn't the one on the, I think it might have been y'all's right side, it's the one on the left side. But now that we got that, I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to set y'all up real quick. I'm going to start by removing this line. And how well it's on there. Can't move it a little bit. Oh, he's not too bad. Yeah, we got a little bit in there, not a lot. I'll rinse that off once I get through. Ratchet, 10mm. Then we're going to take those 2 right there off. If I remember correctly, those are 12s that hold the pump on. Yay. Did not want to drop my tools. Well, I just spent the last 15 minutes looking for my extension and socket and cannot find it, like, anywhere. We'll get it in just a second. That's your bolts. I don't know how it happened, but cannot find it. Nowhere. Should be an O-ring on this little connector. I can get it to come out. Let's see, it's right there. Yeah, baffling. I don't know where it could have went. I mean, it fell like down right here. I don't know. We'll find it, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull the pulley off. It comes off pretty easy. Now we can get to the 2 bolts. It's like 12s. I'll just use a wrench to get this top one off. And it shouldn't be too tight. I say that and then watch them be he-manned onto there. Make sure I'm turning it that way. Okay. God. Yeah, they're a little tight. And I'll have to use my 12 on the lower one. On the ratchet, not a 12, but that's your bolt. It's always the freaking 10 that gets dropped. I don't understand that. Just leave it on the ratchet this time to eliminate the risk of dropping the little 1 inch. I mean, if I can't find the 3 inch extension, I know I won't find this 1 inch extension if it falls. Yeah. I think I have a buzzard flying over my head. Not food, buddy. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Here's your pump out. Gotta get that 10mm right there out so we can switch that over to the new one. Yeah, because this thing was leaking like crazy. Yeah, it looks like it's coming out of that damn plug right there. We'll get it switched over. I really want to find my damn extension though. But we're going to clean all this off down in here anyway. That give me an excuse to look some more. So let me grab some brake cleaner and clean all this. Before I put the pump and everything together, I'm going to go ahead and change out these O-rings. If I can get this one off. Use a pick and yank her out of there. That's her. See which one she is. It is the bigger of the two. Throw that on. Come on, get on there. There we go. I'll put a little bit of power steering fluid around that just so it slides in easier. Here's our little one. I'm going to take this off now. Don't get too tight. Should have done it on the ground, but I had y'all set up here anyway. Set that down. It should pop right out. Got this cleaned off. I'm going to put this O-ring around here. So put it around there. The new pump's gonna have these little plugs in it, like that. This can only go in one way. It has threads inside that one. Put a little bit of power steering fluid on it just to leave it so I don't tear going into the pump. You don't have to crank it down because it is just plastic. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. I still gotta lube up that O-ring, so don't let me forget. And the bolts should be the same. I'll start the easy one first. And then after I start the easy one, I get it down to where it just about touches, and then we can have it where it still moves around, and then we can get the bottom one. That way we can kind of line it up. Alright, there we go. The bottom one is started. Just easier to use the ratchet on the bottom with 2 hands instead of trying to thread it in with my fingers, because see the little snug going in. Just because even though I cleaned out the threads and the bolt itself with some brake cleaner, still might have a little bit of grit in it. Like it wasn't tight, it was just like a little coarse going in. I'm not going to tighten that down all the way yet, because I still gotta look up torque specs to this. Let me look up torque specs real quick and we will get her torque down. I need to look up torque spec for the actual pulley nut as well. Okay, so torque specs. The 10 millimeters go on the top and go in and hold this right here. Those are 8 foot-pounds. Then the 2 that hold the pump to the engine, those are 16. And then the torque for the actual pulley nut is 47. Let's torque this one first. I gotta take the little extension off so I can torque this one. There's that. Now we can put the pulley on. These go on real easy. That's one good thing I like about these Honda pumps. And we will actually torque it down once we get the belt back on. That one's in there a little bit tight. Alright, got a little bit of power steering fluid on that. We can make sure it goes in without rolling or tearing. Just ease it down, don't force it. You may have to wiggle it back and forth just to get it down. To be honest, 8 foot-pounds isn't a lot, so you can just kind of hand tighten these. I have actually used the right size. Like I said, 8 foot-pounds isn't a lot, so no need to go crazy. Okay, that's about all you need. Now, let's cut this zip tie. Make sure you don't cut your belt. I'm going to keep tension on the back side. Now I want to put the belt back on. Let's see if I can show you all this since I kind of set up. These belt tensioners are super tight on these things. A lot easier than I thought it would. Keep your little plugs. I think there's a core charge on most of these. Tighten it down as much as I can with my wrench. And then I'm gonna try to hold it with something inside of here so I can torque it down, because I should be able to get, yeah, so I can move that. Yeah, I should be able to get it in there. Let me set my torque wrench. So 47. Right there. 19. Yeah, I'm gonna turn. I think I have an idea. There we go. That worked out like a dream. I can get this back out now. There we go. It's a little easier than I thought it was going to be. But something worked out considering I can't find my 10. I know I'm harping on that, believe me. Just don't want to go buy another 10, even though I know it's probably only like $30 for a socket, but still, it's $30 you shouldn't have to spend. So, reservoir's right here. Let's fill her up. Camera. Like I said, I got 3 of them just because I don't know how much it's going to use. Oh man, I need another one. This one bottle filled up the reservoir. Get it in there. There's a little piece of paper in there. Let me get that out. How that got in there. Don't want it in a fluid. Clog up a line, that's the last thing we need. Alright, let me crank it up and we'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to bleed this. I got to take my gloves off too. I don't want to get power steering fluid all over the car. Right. Turn it all the way to the left. And we'll turn it all the way to the right. And we'll turn it till about straight again. Should be right there. And check your fluid, which we are below minimum. I can see it. See how far down it is. Grab some more power steering fluid. But this time fill it up just to the max mark. Don't fill it all the way up to the top. So if you do that, you will probably not overflow it. I don't know how well y'all can see, but it is at the full level while running. Shut this down. Before it was making a horrible noise. Should have did a before and after, but we're gonna do it again. Like it wouldn't even turn before. Like it was worse than manual steering, because when these power steering cars lose steering, they are horrible. Yeah, they had some I typically like to use this Ram. I don't know why. It's cheap and it's good fluid too. I know the Master Pro probably just as good, but just a personal thing, I guess, what I've always used. Alright, and after doing that, I'll probably do it 2 or 3 more times, and just to make sure that she's at full level and no noise. Just look for any leaks. Don't see any right now, but I will take it on test drive, and then we'll see, look again. But this is pretty much getting one of these power steering pumps off. Not really a hard job. Pretty simple, pretty basic on Honda. They're normally on the top on most Hondas, but pretty basic little job. Anybody can do it. 10, 12, 19, and 14. Just so you can take the belt off, and then the power steering fluid and the pump. But like I said, this is going to conclude this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any tips, tricks to help somebody else out or help me out in the future, let me know in the comment section. I'll get to them as soon as possible. Patreon, Instagram, all that good stuff. Y'all hit me up on there if y'all need anything. I do answer Patreon messages if anybody's interested. Y'all need like wiring harness diagrams and stuff like that, I'll give those to y'all. But like always, short, tight. Y'all have a great day.